Hey kids, Invertical here. Welcome back to Empyrion multiplayer. Things are progressing along quite nicely. We did a little discovery. You'll notice that I have a couple of shiny red guns in my inventory bar. That's right. We're going to flip the map here. We started doing attacks on wherever the green barrier is, the drone base that is right here, that will not stay listed on the map. It respawns every half hour. So you start attacking it, it respawns. If you're not done it, you're going to end up with a base in the middle of wherever you're attacking. So I had to do kind of the cheaty way. We tunneled underneath it. We can blow the core through the bottom. That gives us half an hour of free-for-all looting and disassembly on the base, and then it respawns. It regenerates. So as soon as you move away from the area, it's back again. So I picked up a whole whack of goodies for myself and the boys. I repainted the flying brick, by the way. It was only supposed to be around for a couple of, basically for one mission. And it's turning into the go all do everything on this planet for a while now. I picked up a whole whack of armor from that POI. We got lots of medium armor, a whole whack of armor boosts, more armor in here, and a couple of epic weapons that I've put in the ammo locker, so that we're already ready to actually start doing stuff with it. I'm going to feed my guy here real quick, and then I'm jumping the flying brick. We're going to go take a look at how Leviticus is doing with his build and some of the other builds that we were discussing. Chaotic Vein, I think, wanted to start working on an airport, so I'll be right back as soon as we get ourselves organized. One of the things I've been noticing a lot lately is a lot of random damage occurring to the base and the ship. You'll walk up this walkway and there'll be stuff broken down this pathway, there'll be stuff damaged. Now, I'm not going to fly over there. I'm actually going to see if I can find where I had my bike left. I'm trying to encourage the guys to use the motorcycles a lot. I have noticed, however, they did an update on the thing where if you leave a motorcycle on the ground unattended for any length of time, it forms into a box, and then the despawn timer starts on it, and it actually shows you the despawn timers now, which is handy. One of the things they said, Wolf said, that they had done was made these planets so they weren't entirely dark. Unfortunately, I don't think he's entirely correct. I do wish they would put a first-person perspective when riding bikes, however. Here we are at the build for the mining facility. This is Levi's dropship. Wolf has had an inspection on it and has said that he can carry 2 fixed cannons and 1 fixed rocket launcher, or 1 rocket launcher turret, so 2 cannon or minigun turrets and 1 rocket launcher turret, and he can use point defense turrets for the rest of it. The only other thing that Wolf had commented, and this is part of our ship equality thing that we're working towards, is it doesn't get one of these constructors. The problem I have with that, and the problem that most of the people I've talked to have had with that, is a support ship generally would have something like this for support in this game. One ship goes down with stuff to support everybody. We seem to have a glitchy block going here. As you can see, the building is definitely taking shape. It's looking really nice. Wolf did a walkthrough on it and he was really quite impressed with it. We should be able to actually start actual mining operations anytime now. I think Levi was putting the finishing touches into it, and some decoratives and such. So yeah, hopefully this will be done shortly, and we'll be able to tear off into bigger and better projects. Alright, we're back at the base here. Again, it's nighttime. I don't know what it is with this game, but it seems no matter what you do, it's always night. I want to do, if you notice my inventory is full of hover vessel parts, I actually want to make a hover vessel based on the first hover vessel I made that I used a lot. Not my first hover vessel, but one of the first hover vessels I made. The original Scavenger Truck. If you remember, it was a cockpit, thrusters, a pair of miniguns, pair of drills, harvester, and drill turret. I had this. I've used this so much in the past. It's a light, fast, easy to work with, highly maneuverable, low profile grinder hover thing that can stand up to a couple of drone attacks without too much issue. This scavenger thing here that Levi has made, Wolf saw this thing and he had a minigun. He had fixed minigun on here, and he had a minigun turret on it at the time. Now he's got a drill turret on here. Wolf said that this thing is too small for any kind of turreted weapon, and yeah, I told him, I says, you know, it is. This was something that was made like on day one so that we could just get around and do our thing. And again, it was one of those things like the Flying Red Brick Rescue here that was never really meant to stay in operation for more than a couple of days. So I'm going to attempt again to build myself a replacement hover vessel that matches what I originally had with the scavenger truck. So I'm going to do some building. There's the first block. I'm going to do some building. I'll cut here. I'll pick it up after I've got a little bit of things assembled and whatnot, and I'll be right back. Okay, kids, we're back. As you can see, I have basically duplicated the same thing. I mean, I've added a few things to it, removed a few things, like I don't have 10 cargo boxes like I did before and that kind of thing. I've only got 4 cargo boxes, 2 harvest boxes, 2 ammo boxes, and the general constructor, the small constructor. This is a scavenger truck. It is designed to go out and collect resources. Now you'll notice, and we'll bring up the drone here so you can see a little bit more clearly. I've got the new angled spotlights on. That should give me a very wide field of view with the spotlights. I put some armor plating on the top of the grinder module because the stone golems have taken to punching the grinders and breaking it. Drill turrets still stick forward slightly so that I can actually drill anything I need to, particularly the resource meteorites that are now falling. I know that if you read the description on the drills and the turret drill, it says that these don't mine resource meteorites, but I believe that is a misprint from what I have gathered from talking to several other people. They do in fact drill quite nicely the resource meteorites, which is the primary reason for making this. I have a pair of small side thrusters for lateral movement and stability, 2 RCS units, not the 8 I had made on the one that I originally made, because I found I really don't need that much. 2 will do the job. I've got 3 small hover pads in the front and 2 large ones in the rear, and I'm powering it with the new oops, that's concrete. Powering it forward with the new larger thrusters, the size 3 thrusters. And I lowered the drill turret down so it's got a smaller profile. It's not as pronounced as the other one I had, because it was actually the one I originally made. This drill turret was actually up on the second block, so it was 2 blocks thick. This is now down on the lowest level. The drill or the grinder is also on the lowest level. The problem being, of course, is you still have to put the crosshairs on whatever you're grinding. So if I can't see it, the grinder won't work it. So I've got to get that. Got to make sure I have as low of a profile as I can, which concerns me. I might actually have to use a different cockpit. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll test it out. I don't really particularly care for some of the other cockpits, although they do have that new slopey one, but it doesn't look right with stuff stuck to it. I've got the Legacy, which has the break in the middle, which also same thing. So I'm going to throw some fuel in this thing, lift it out of this hole, level it off on this build platform, replace the blocks on the build platform, and give it some paint and some texturing, and I'll be, once again, right back to look at the finished product, and we'll take it for a test drive. So don't go away, kids. Okay, kids, we are back with the almost completely finished project. I have decorated it up, painted it, given it the desert color scheme that I've been working with on this planet, which is basically the darker brown on the lower and the lighter tan on the upper. I also remembered that I forgot one little tiny important detail, and that is the armor locker. Yes, I know I put it underneath because I have extra medium armor. I can now actually configure armor for various tasks. For example, this is my general purpose armor. Just a little bit of everything, nothing much. Because one of the things I have to do is go swimming, I made scuba gear. It's a medium armor with mobility boost and 2 oxygen boosts. Each of the oxygen boosts degrade your oxygen consumption substantially, so you don't run out of air as fast. So that can stay in there. Finally, something else to be aware of. When you jump into the thing and you bring up your initial P menu, you'll notice that it also calls for drill charges and biofuel. If you have either of these in your inventory and hit fill all, it will throw them into the cargo container and use them up for you. What it is now, and it doesn't make any difference, it just consumes the fuel, but the grinder requires biofuel. I'm guessing also the original drills, the tier 1 drills, and the laser drill here requires or consumes drill charges. So if you have those in your inventory and you place them in, just load the thing, it will load those out of your inventory and consume them without any additional benefit or effect. I'm not sure if eventually that is something they're going to implement or whatever, where these actually require fuel to operate or ammunition charges to operate, in which case it will bring a use for biofuel into the game above and beyond just the tier 1 drills and that sort of thing. So, all that yakking aside, let's turn this puppy on and see if we can get undocked here. And we'll just scroll back a little bit. I want to get a test for how she handles, that kind of thing. It's still classified as a light hover vessel for our server standards, but you can see the two side spotlights give me a very nice field of effect. The 45 degrees off to the angle will help eliminate a lot of the surprise monster attacks, although I am noticing that one side is substantially more skewed than the other. I'm not sure if maybe just altering the rotation on them will affect it or not, but change view. Now it has the placement of the things. I wish you could assign which hotkey gets which, because I really want to have grinder as my number 1 at all times. But I'm going to go find some bad guys to go talk to with my grinder, because we are in need of food and meat. The farm hasn't got completely finished yet. He's still working on it. And I am seeing that at least 1 or 2 more RCSs will be required for the leveling effect to actually work, because it's still bouncing around pretty nasty. Although I have way more forward thrust now than I need, which is nice, which is the way I normally build vehicles. I mean, if you've ever driven a car, you'll know that you can hit go forward a lot faster than go stop. So we'll see if we can get a view on these guys and hit them with the grinder. Yeah, killing bugs with this thing is still going to be, from what I can tell, very difficult, very challenging. I'm guessing killing this spider is going to be almost impossible. Yeah, see, you can't. This is a thing that I really hate that they have implemented in the game, is you cannot grind low enough to the ground to do anything. Try this golem here. Okay, at least I can kill him. If I go third-person perspective, maybe I can get view down enough. But see, the problem is if you can't put the crosshairs on them. Let's get it down to proper hover height here. Yeah, if you can't put the crosshairs on them, it doesn't seem to make any difference. Okay, let's try now. Okay, I can get hits on them now. Yes, yes, you're on my cockpit, thank you. So it's, yeah, it's handling fairly nicely. So I'm going to pause here and go harvest some resources and drill some stuff. And I will see you on the next episode. Thanks all for watching, kids, and yeah, good night for now.